Hi, this is Flylady Premier Mentor Emma here. Today is the first step of the 31 baby steps. If you don't know what baby steps are, they are Flylady's way of helping you to get your routines into place and to build some habits that can last you for a long time so that you can keep your house under control without feeling overwhelmed. And you may have found this because you were Googling ways to keep your house clean, or you may already know about Flylady and think, well, actually I'd like a little bit of extra encouragement to follow along, and that's what I'm here for, to help with today. So the very first baby step is to shine your sink. Now, Flylady says, and this is totally true, it works in my house and in every house of every lady that I've mentored, they all say it makes a big difference. We shine our sink, and the sink in the kitchen because sort of sets the tone for downstairs. It makes the kitchen feel cleaner, and somehow it starts to make the rest of downstairs come together. I wouldn't even like to try and guess why, but that seems to be a thing that happens. Now, Flylady has a Shiny Sink 101, and there is a link down in the description for you to follow if you're somebody who likes printed instructions. Otherwise, you can follow along with me and do it how you feel works for you. So what we do is we start off with just kind of looking at our sink, and we do a big shine once, and then we kind of keep it up every day, and that'll become apparent as we move along, and I will show you how that works tomorrow on day 2, how that kind of smaller shine can keep that going. You need a timer. You don't need to get caught up on having a perfect, fantastic timer. I generally use the timer on my phone, a cooking timer, the one on your oven or your microwave, whatever works for you. So we're going to start by just kind of checking our sinks over. My sink has these little doohickeys in it that collect any bits, and this one's clear, but this one just has a little bit of, I was making custard earlier, so that can just go down the sink. So I deal with any bits in my sink first, and it doesn't matter if your sink is really gross or kind of just like in a need of a clean like mine. This is how we start. We empty anything out of it that's in it, and we start to fill it with some hot water. Now, my hot water runs really slowly. We never worked out why. A plumber said that that's just kind of how it is. So it takes a minute to fill up, and then I just get some, I like to use multi-purpose cleaner because I can use this anywhere in my home, but don't get caught up on not having the right thing. If you have a kitchen cleaner, that's great. If you have a bathroom cleaner, generally you can use it on your sink, but I would test a small area first. If you don't have dish detergent, you can use a shampoo just to clean your sink out. Whatever you've got hanging around, you can use. We don't have to have the perfect tools for the job. We just need to make a start. Okay, so as your sink starts to fill up, you just add some of, you can use bleach or cleaner or whatever you want. I use this one because it's got a nice lemony smell, which I really like. You should be really careful when you're cleaning and using detergents that you don't mix them, because they can create a chlorine gas that can actually be fatal. So be really careful not to mix things. So I just fill my sink up, I let it go with hot water, I let it fill kind of to the top, and that will take a minute with my sink because it's so bad. And while it's doing that, I kind of give it a bit of a scrub around the edges just to really start removing anything that might be a bit grimy or gross as it's going. I have this little sink bit here that I will fill in a minute when it comes to it. And I have my scrubby brush here, and you kind of give the tap. If you don't have one of these, or you need something, an old toothbrush is perfect for getting anything around the tap, but we really get into the tap and give it a good go. My tap's one of these ones that comes off, and so I can do all kinds of things with it. So we just, while that's filling up, we give our tap a good going over like that, and then I will dip in and start to clean this. Now, I find that this just kind of gets stuff caught in here, so My mum lives with us and my daughter and her husband live with us, so my sink doesn't always stay quite how I would choose for it to be, but I don't sweat that. I don't worry that they don't do what I do. I just fix it when I shine my sink in the evening. And I found that I'm much less stressed, I'm much happier if I am just accepting of my own standards. So once your sink starts to get full, we switch it over into the small sinks. I know lots of you, if you're American, you'll have double sinks. We fill this little one up as well. And again, I will add just a little bit of this in there just to get that to work on there. And what that does is loosen, again, any grime that is in there. Then once they're both full, I'm going to set my timer. Now, it really depends on your sink. So my sink's not that bad because actually I generally keep my sink pretty good. I shine it every day, not like this, but tomorrow I will show you how that works, to shine your sink on a day after you've done the big shine. And then I do this, generally like this, once a month, and it was getting to the point where it was due to have a good shine. So once it's full, again, I'll just go in here and just kind of go around the edges just to start to loosen any of that. You would set your timer for anything from 15 minutes to an hour. If it's really grungy, I would leave it for the full hour. If it's just kind of like mine, maybe for 15 minutes. I generally use the timer on my phone because, hey, it's always with me, so when it goes off, it's right there, and I'm terrible for forgetting to pick my timer up. But any timer will do. Again, do not get caught up on the perfectionism of I can't do it because I haven't got this tool or that tool. Over the next 31 days, your timer will become your best friend. I love my timer and I try and use it for absolutely everything because it helps me to stay on track. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes and I will come back and we'll do the next part of our sink shining. Okay, so we're back. My timer went off after 15 minutes and during that 15 minutes you can sit and read a book, relax, maybe have a drink, or if you wanted to maybe just deal with something else in your kitchen, you can do that as well, but there's no pressure for that. We are at day one and the key here is baby steps. So you just need to do the thing every day that you're kind of set to do, and we'll build on those over 31 days. And actually, if it takes you longer than 31 days, if you need to repeat a step for 5 or 6 days, these will be here until you're ready. So there's no huge pressure to start. But my sink has been soaking and it's kind of anything that was a bit grimy in there has been hopefully soaked and loosened. So I let the water out, and while I'm letting the water out, I give this just a really good wipe, because again, like I said, these bits you just kind of get, they catch the grime, especially with my mum. She's nearly 80 and her eyesight is not great, so she doesn't always see what she's spilt. So with this sink I give it a good scrub. Now I have a new cloth every day and I'm not necessarily as eco-friendly as I could be. I use these disposable ones, but you can get cloths that you can wash every day and they are very good. It's just, for me, these just have always worked better. I don't know why, it's just a thing that I've done all my life, and I do worry about how ecologically unfriendly they may be. Okay, so I just kind of clean this bit up, and these I drop in my dishwasher 2 or 3 times a week, just when there's a little bit of a gap. I will drop these in to just clean them up a bit, and it tends to make them shinier than I ever can, because they do get a bit, whereas that one's just got a little bit of something on it. So let's clean that off, and as you can see, they come up kind of really quite nicely with not very much work. So once my sink is empty, I give it a good shine around. If anything's come loose, kind of get it a little bit of elbow crease in there and really start to give it a good going over. I get down, you can see, but I'm down into where the plug goes, because I know we don't drink tea or coffee in our house, but for lots of people they do drink tea or coffee, and you can get stains, especially in a stainless steel sink. Now, I've heard lots of people say, oh, but my sink is old and it doesn't shine well and I'm never going to get it up. The shiny sink is not about having it so you can see your face in it. I don't know if you can see mine. Mine is actually kind of matte. So I could shine this for a month and I still wouldn't be able to see my face in it, because that's not how it's designed. The idea is you just make it look as good as it can look. Not perfection, good enough is good enough. But yeah, so my sink is, it's nice, it looks good. So once I've done that, I take my dishcloth, and this is my cool Halloween dishcloth, and I realise it's the 1st of January, but I kind of like skulls. I think sugar skulls, not kind of the scary kind that you get in horror movies. So I use it all year round, just because it's fun. So then I dry my sink with my cloth. And if you need to polish it, because some people's, if your sink is that kind of sink, then just a little bit of Windex, or in the UK we have Windoline, is absolutely great to just spray to give it that extra shine. And I have some here. I just kind of spray it on like that without any real effort. And again, take it off with this cloth, which will go in the wash later on today. And like I said, my sink is not going to shine so I can see my face in it. It's not the way it works. And when we remodel our kitchen, which we will hopefully be doing this year, but it keeps getting put off for more important things, then I will probably have a ceramic sink, so that will just shine in a maybe different way. So then every time I use my sink, I just wipe it out and dry it out to keep it shiny like this. And it's not a big job at all. So I can tell you that since we've been back and I let the water out and everything, that's taken less than 4 minutes to do that. And it looks absolutely beautiful. So I will be back tomorrow with baby step number 2, where we will build on shining our sink. It's absolutely lovely to come down in the morning to a sink that looks like this. It's kind of welcoming. It's kind of a pat on the back to you from your evening self. If you want to know anything more about Flylady, if you go to flylady.net, the entire program is laid out there. It's all entirely free for you. If you think that maybe you would benefit from having a mentor, somebody like me, there are lots of us who mentor, there are about 20 of us, then if you go to flyladypremium.com, all of those programs are laid out there for you. I am going to go and enjoy some time with my family. I hope you enjoyed my little sink shining, and I will be back tomorrow with baby step number 2. You have a wonderful day.